This is a question that I've had for a while now. Joe Gibbs Racing jumped onto Toyota back in 2008. At the time, it was seen as a head-scratching move to say the least. Toyota had struggled mightily in 2007, but alas, the move turned out to be an ingenious one, as Toyota immediately began winning with them. But what would have happened if JGR had stayed with Chevy, or at least hadn't moved to Toyota? To start, Toyota would have stayed in NASCAR. They invested far too much to just up and quit after a few bad years. Also, they'd spent the time and money to develop a system to develop young drivers and move them up through the ranks. In Cup, teams like Bill Davis Racing, Team Red Bull, and Michael Waltrip Racing all jumped to Toyota in 2007. Toyota more than likely would have continued to try and entice a larger team, but would have gotten behind these ones. Over time, Red Bull and MWR would slowly grow. Toyota R&D would still be top of the line, regardless of if Gibbs had associated with them or not. But because of lower tier teams, rather than Gibbs being Toyota's focal point, they would have probably grown over time, but slowly. Now, Toyota's growth with Gibbs really pushed the industry to further develop their equipment. Without Gibbs, Toyota probably would have had a longer catch-up period, meaning the competition may have been at a level that was a few years behind where they are now. Without Gibbs, Toyota would have inevitably succeeded in NASCAR. As their young prospects began to make their way through the ranks and higher up, the caliber of Toyota's stake in NASCAR would go up as well. Even with teams like Red Bull and MWR, the power and money Toyota threw into NASCAR would pay off either way. Talented drivers, more money paid, and teams willing to buy in with them would have helped Toyota go further. Toyota was destined for success in NASCAR, no matter who drove for them. But the amount of success is what would have been the biggest change. Just think for a moment about who Toyota more than likely would have been without. Denny Hamlin, one of the best drivers in NASCAR history that hasn't won a championship. Carl Edwards, a free agent and a weekly threat for wins. Matt Kenseth, a perennial championship contender and a champion. And Kyle Busch, Toyota's winningest driver in history. Without the talent and knowledge of these drivers from JGR, it could be argued that Toyota would be closer to success to where Dodge was when they left in 2012, playing third fiddle to Chevy and Ford. When push comes to shove, I think that had JGR not changed manufacturers, the landscape of NASCAR would be much different than the one we know today. But now I pass on the topic to you. How do you think Toyota would have fared in NASCAR without JGR? Let me know down in the comments below, and subscribe if you want to see more NASCAR content. And until next time, have a good one.